I feel like we've pretty much given the most spoilers we've ever given, right up to the very, very final reveal. Welcome back to Modern Horror Stories podcast. And after a long break, we're back with Jamie, Dave, and Rosanna to talk about Better Watch Out, a kind of Christmas horror thriller, Home Alone style movie from 2016, directed by Chris Peckover. And let's start off by jumping straight in with our ratings for this movie. So I gave it a 8.5.
I gave it a 7.
And I gave it a 6. Please be warned before you go on, there's going to be massive spoilers throughout this video. So let's kick off with a synopsis. So there's a small family, 2 parents and a son, and the parents are going out for the night. It's just before Christmas, and they've hired a babysitter to come and stay over. And the boy has a great attraction to the babysitter. And then there is signs of an home intruder whilst the two of them are there alone, home alone. Dave mentioned Home Alone, and that there are a few parallels and a few direct references as well to Home Alone. But yeah, so there's this home invasion, but there is a pretty massive twist fairly early on, actually, in the film. And then, yeah, I don't know if I should say more yet, but there is more to come.
Well, since Rosanna kind of split our scores with a 7 between our 8.5 and our 6, why don't you tell us how you felt about it, and then Jamie will tell everyone why it's not as good, and I'll tell everyone why it's better.
Sure. Well, obviously, I liked most part of the film. Well, almost everything, I'll say. But something I really liked was obviously like how misleading it was. Because in the beginning, I was really wondering for like the first 10 minutes. I was like, is this just like the classical horror, like the most classical horror movie you could ever find? Because it was just, yeah, them two home alone, like the babysitter and the guy, and then obviously the signs of this intruder or whatever, and I just could not get invested. And I'd seen that it had like really high scores on Rotten Tomatoes, so I was like, what's going on here? And I thought some of the reactions were a bit fake or whatever, especially from the boy, obviously. But then it was completely different from what I thought. I thought this would be like a slasher kind of vibe, where it would be like this rubber, whatever, coming in like Scream kind of vibes. But it turns out obviously this innocent little kid is the like monster. And I think they did it so well, because as soon as it turned around like that, I got so invested. And then I was invested for the rest of the film. Even if it was super silly at times, with the humor and stuff. I was still so invested and like so uncomfortable. So I think they really succeeded in scaring you and making you like super uncomfortable. And at the same time, there was funny humor in it as well. But it was sometimes lost on me a bit because I was so uncomfortable. I could barely like get into the mood of kind of laughing. But I found some things really funny. Like, for example, when the ex-boyfriend Jeremy pulls up to the house and he just looks like the typical like 90s douche boyfriend kind of vibe. And he like practices what he's gonna say in the mirror and stuff. And at that point I was like, okay, that's funny. And there's other things that would have been funny if I wasn't so uncomfortable. And I think it was a great comment as well on like sort of this like incel culture thing, I think. I don't know if that was like the point, but just because he's like a 12-year-old boy, that's kind of the group that's targeted by sort of like the incel community, I guess. So it was really interesting to see like how um I'm gonna get back to it one second. But like how it seemed like he was kind of copying what he's seen in movies, like with sociopaths and with what this nice guy thing where he's like, you're not supposed to be with him, like he's a douchebag, but actually he's the one, like being the most horrible guy. It's just like a really nice comment, like / satire kind of thing of like the male ego and the incel culture kind of thing. It's really interesting. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I found that whole incel vibe very uncomfortable. Like, because it was just like the whole early like first half of the film pretty much is just a guy being super creepy to a woman and like acting as if he has a right to be that way, and taking it to the point of violence, and quite extreme violence, and threatening her with a gun, and like, yeah, it's just nuts. And so I was I didn't enjoy it at all. I was fully prepared to rate this movie as a 1. I
That's
did not
actually
enjoy it,
why I rated it higher, because I was like so uncomfortable, because I was like, I think they kind of did their job,
I
but
guess.
did I
Yeah.
enjoy the movie? No. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I was just thinking, there was also another thing. There was like a very, again, the 90, you mentioned the 90s douchebag boyfriend. There was also like a kind of 90s like homophobic, if that's the right word, joke in there. Like, oh, the wife saying to the husband, oh, it was something about his Christmas decorations or something, and his tie, and like she was just very, I don't know, it felt like the attitudes that I saw when I was at school, which it was one of the first lines in the film as well. I was like, oh no, like, and it's not even a 90s film. I don't know. Yeah, it's,
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
weird,
sure
actually.
why that's there, but I guess
No,
those people do exist still. So
it's true.
yeah, there's a space for everyone. But yeah, I found it super uncomfortable, and like the motivation of the boy, it was just really icky for all the horror. Until there was a bit, I can't remember exactly where it was, but he sort of reveals his true motivation, which is that he just wants a hug from his mum.
Right,
And I was like,
yeah.
okay, that's different. And the whole being lecturers thing was just, I don't know, a side quest in the midst of that, but or part of the tool to orchestrate that whole thing, because the whole thing was crazily planned out. Like he'd been sleepwalking, pretending to sleepwalk in order to be put on sleeping pills, so that he could pretend that he was asleep when this horror was happening, that he was, when he was actually running around killing people, he could pretend, oh no, I was unconscious with the sleeping pill. And even that thing, like there was a thing where the parents balanced a pencil on the door to see if the door had opened. I'm sure that was all part of his plan. So it was a really long game, very intricately planned. It's like if Home Alone, if Macaulay Culkin had more time than one evening, just imagine what he could do. And if he wanted to kill people. Yeah, but interestingly, when the film started, when there was that whole thing about the sleepwalking and the pencil and all of that, I thought, oh, we're in for a supernatural movie. And there's the kid's some kind of demon, or they're possessed, or like it's exorcist vibes. And I was really waiting for the possession to come up, and it never did. It was a different kind of horror. But yeah, that last part of the film, after the like pretty much from when the Home Alone paint can bit happened, that I started to actually enjoy the film and think, oh, this is good. The acting is phenomenal. The action is good. The final sort of backlash, if that's the right word, when he thinks he's killed everyone and gotten away with it, and then he sees that one of his victims is still alive and being wheeled away into the ambulance, and she just goes,
Yeah,
I
that
love
was
that.
satisfying.
Yeah.
I'm so frustrated through this whole thing, because I was like, is it little like kid like doing all this. Like you feel like, oh, this is like so ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's obviously dangerous.
Yeah.
So like you could feel like her frustration, like I actually can't believe like you're able to do this. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not supposed to because you're silly, you know. And then so I was so frustrated leading up until that point, and I was so happy when that happened. I actually was. I was like,
After your speech there, Jamie, I feel like we've pretty much given the most spoilers we've ever given, right up to the very, very final reveal of the finger. Um, so,
we
so
gave a warning.
I haven't watched this without watching the movie, but I pretty much loved all these things that you maybe didn't like and found ambiguous sometimes. It when I chose my score for this, it was just one below what I consider a classic. I can't put it into the classic category, but I really loved it. And watching it the second time, I enjoyed it as much, I think. And that's despite all the sport, there's a lot of plot elements, and because of all those big twist elements and the larger plot reveals, I did wonder whether on second review I would kind of enjoy it less, but I didn't. I enjoyed it. Maybe I even enjoyed it more. Things like the pencil as well. So it was kind of like Chekhov's pencil, wasn't it? It was mentioned at the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
And I thought it was mentioned because I thought the final use was going to be another spoiler, when it gets shoved into that guy's face. So I thought that's why the pencil was hidden under the carpet. But then it comes back at the end as well, where it becomes kind of like the raising of the stakes, because he's got to put the pencil on and climb back in. All those things. I really enjoyed it. I kind of agree with you about I guess I agree that it could make people feel uncomfortable, but I felt I was able to sit with that in an okay place. Especially with the final kind of happy ending, I guess. It was happier than I expected.
Yeah.
And the journey it took me um the journey it took me on the first time I saw it was huge, because I just thought, is this really a horror film, or is this just kind of a dark Home Alone?
Yeah.
And I hadn't really thought about how 90s it feels, but it does feel super like a 90s film, to the point that, because I saw it maybe 5 years ago, and then when I went back to find when it was made, I kind of expected it to be like turn of the century or something, 2000
Yeah.
maybe. And when I realized it was like less than 10 years ago, it really surprised me.
Mm.
Um, but I think that was kind of deliberate, and I think that kind of ties it into that Home Alone feel, because if you rewatch Home Alone and think, oh, I watch it from the point of view that Macaulay Culkin's just a psychopath, it still works completely, because the things he does are just horrific. He's a horrible little boy. Do you
I'm
know
not
what
gonna
I mean?
lie. I've never seen Home Alone.
He wishes
Oh,
his family are dead, and then when he finds out that maybe his wish has come true, he's not remotely upset. But and I just thought the acting of this guy, Levi Miller, when he kills his best friend, that transition just blew my mind.
Yeah, that was so good.
that was incredible. That was
Yeah.
really incredible.
Yeah.
Mm.
I also like the fact that most of the people were age specific. Like, he was 13 playing a 12-year-old. I think she was 17 playing. Yeah, they were all fairly close to their
Mhm.
actual ages, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Also,
rare.
something else I didn't realize was, apart from the parents, who I liked, I like Patrick Warburton, the guy who's a little bit metrosexual at the beginning. He's quite a big character actor. Apart from those two, that they were all Australians.
What?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. everyone was on Australian apart from the two parents, and it was filmed in Australia as well.
Okay, yeah.
I had no idea.
But
I
the
wonder.
accent was American, right?
Sorry?
The accent was American, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's surprising.
I wonder if an American person can tell, or like, I didn't pick up on that at
Yeah.
all.
No,
No.
me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ah.
And when I rewatched it and saw the snow, and apparently it was all filmed in Australia, which I find hard to believe because there's all those scenes outside at the beginning in the snow. I mean, they must have cost a fortune
Yeah.
just to
Oh,
recreate a
right. It
snow in
doesn't snow there. I forgot.
Australia.
Wow.
In conclusion, I would say, if you're prepared to feel a little bit of uncomfortable with the motivation of the protagonist, I guess he's the antagonist, isn't he?
What's it called
I
if he's
think
protagonist and antagonist simultaneously?
yeah, he switches from protagonist to antagonist halfway through. But if you
Yeah.
can live through that discomfort, I think you'll really enjoy this film. And I think the fact he is 12 kind of softens all those kind of creepy, for me anyway. It softens a bit all those kind of creepy elements. I think if he'd have been 20 and behaved the same way to that lady, it would have felt really horrible.
It
But
would
for
have
me,
felt maybe
it kind of
scarier, but I think not less uncomfortable. I think it was more uncomfortable that he was this age. But maybe it would have felt like
really.
scarier. I don't actually know. Maybe it's actually scary that he is younger to me, because then it's like he doesn't even know what he's doing almost. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not, like, his brain is not developed. Like, he doesn't know what decisions he's taking. Do you know what I mean? Like, not to free him from any responsibility. Obviously, it's still his responsibility, but it makes him more, what is it called? Like, when you can't really expect what they're gonna do, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
He's a complete psychopath.
Yeah, just unreliable.
Yeah.
Very, very unreliable.
Unpredictable.
Yeah. Unpredictable, that's right.
Yeah. It's also scary. Like, where's he got all these views from already? Like at such a young age, and
The
like you
internet.
said, the incels target young
Mm.
impressionable people. I guess I
Just-
don't know
you can tell, like,
why they want to grow their community, but
yeah,
I guess
don't know.
everyone does.
Yeah, but I guess that's also, I actually saw a YouTuber talking about this incel part of it, where it's like it's quite clearly like learned a little bit his behavior, because you can see he's still like a child inside. Because sometimes he has these moments, like when he kills his best friend and he goes like about to cry, and then he's like, "No, I'm gonna be this like cool psychopath thing." Like, it's like an act. Like, if it, I mean, I believe he's still like some sort of sociopath, psychopath, or whatever. Otherwise, he probably couldn't do these things. But at the same time, it's like he wants to be, you know, like, but inside he's still a child, you know. So it's just interesting that thing that makes you think this is like learned from movies and from the internet, and like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what this interesting YouTuber said.
Interesting. I got
Mhm.
the opposite point of view. I kind of
Uh-huh.
thought it was all very. I mean, I don't know too much about psychopaths, about how much they're made and how much they're born. But because it was all planned out, and there's a nice moment right at the beginning where he's talking about he's going to show the babysitter a horror movie because fear produces dopamine, and that kind of emotional rush is good for like making a connection. And obviously he's got a different kind of fear in mind, but you don't know it at that point.
Yeah.
And the fact he was so intellectual about all of those things, for me, I just thought this is, and he's obviously killed his friend's hamster as well. I felt this is someone who's been made rather than a product of society. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
I don't
an
know.
expert.
Because at the same time, the thing of him knowing the things about the dopamine and stuff, that also seems like he could have gotten that from a incel forum. Do you know what I mean? but like I don't know. Yeah.
But what's
agree.
really interesting is that that wasn't his, at least as far as I can tell. Like his aim was to kill her all along, not to actually form a connection with her, wasn't it? Or
Yeah. I
or was
mean,
it? Maybe I'm misremembering.
in my interpretation, well, I didn't really know by the end, but at first my interpretation was that at first he was gonna try it the nice way, you know what I mean, and be like, you don't like these guys doesn't deserve you. But then when he couldn't get that, he had like another plan after that. Like if that doesn't go well, but then I'm gonna really like, make her pay for it. Do you know what I mean? That's how I kind of interpreted it. Then some things I guess would counter whatever it's called that.
I weren't sure the first time. I felt like he had kind of multi-layered plans where hopefully perhaps he wanted to kind of seduce this older his babysitter. But then the second time I watched it, and he did say, and she said, the plan was to kill me all along, wasn't it, or something like that.
Right.
So the second time I wasn't so sure. I wasn't quite so sure. But yeah.
Yeah, because I wonder how he would do it, how he would keep her alive, but not aware of what he's done.
Oh, well, he was going to use the drug, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
was
said you're
he?
gonna
He was
wake
trying to
up
get her to drink
tomorrow.
that drug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So to get her to sleep, then kill the others.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jolly.
It's a bit I guess like if you watch it like several times, you would probably figure that out. I think. I would have liked to go back, you know.
Yeah. So, a nice range of opinions on this movie, from go and see it to approach with caution, I feel. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about 3 things that we would do to improve this movie. So come and join us for our follow-up podcast tomorrow. It's really interesting hearing what you two say, because although sometimes I say I feel the exact opposite, I can totally understand where you're coming from.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
me too.
simultaneously
With the viewers.
feel both things.
Yeah, I agree. Can too.
But yeah, although sometimes I feel like I disagree with you, I love hearing your points of view. And like I say, so I do sometimes I go away and think I was wrong about that.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, interesting.
For sure.